Here's to tag teaming over to our founder, fearless leader, Brett Labit of WEVO Global, with gratitude and honor to contribute to the tribe.
Thank you, Heather. Great job. Great recap. I hope you guys got some more nuggets and insight out of that. Really excited to be with you today and just to share some time, space, and energy, or what I call the law of relation, sharing time, space, and energy with each other. And we get to define that by how we interact. So thanks for the interaction. Cheers from Heather. Of course, lots of gratitude and appreciation to Heather. Thank you for always doing that, Jason. And glad that you guys participate and you're going through the work. As I stated earlier when we were preparing for the call, the WEVO DNA is just the beginning. It's just the foundation. It's the basics. It's the basic foundation of what we believe are the keys to life and business success. These are 8 principles, 8 DNA that Heather covered brilliantly a recap on for the first couple of weeks. But these 8 principles make up what we call the fabric of success, or the framework of success. And so what we're going to do is we're going to dive into the 4th DNA today, but just a quick list of the 8 principles of the DNA. You have number 1, aware of other self. Number 2, clarity of dreams. Number 3, definiteness of purpose. And then number 4, wellness. And those are the interactions. Now, the 4 interactions are authentic leadership, attract tribe, create harmonic culture, and align effort and energy. Now, let me give you kind of a visual of the overall model of where all this is going inside of tribe. And this is so important. I shared this with David Keith yesterday on paper. I'm excited to share with the people that will be attending the new sales paradigm, and eventually sharing it with you guys here as we're able to roll it out. It's kind of in depth, but let me just give you a snapshot of what this looks like. The WEVO DNA is a foundation of life and business success, life and business growth. So just visualize that kind of at the bottom of a pyramid. So you have 8 principles of WEVO DNA that make up the base of this pyramid. As you go up in the pyramid, the next level up is what we call business development professional. Now, you may be thinking, well, I don't need to be a business development professional. I'm an accountant. Actually, you still need the skills and ability to attract tribe and nurture the tribe, creating a harmonic culture if you want riches in your life of any type, meaning relationships, memories, energy exchange. We all are in business development. Some of us just have not come to that conclusion yet. So the next pillar up in the, or the next tier up in the pyramid is business development. From there, we build on a certification of authentic leadership. What does it mean to lead yourself well from the inside and on the outside, and to be able to lead others? And then the next block up is mentorship. Anyone that builds anything significant in life will mentor others without a doubt. It's just part of the process. If you're attracting tribe, you will be the trusted advisor to someone somewhere at some point. And the more effective you are at mentoring others, the more effective you are at being the trusted advisor, the more effective you are at the previous building blocks, the 8 DNA and the authentic leadership, the more influence you will create. And I believe that today's capital is influence. It's social influence. And then from there, the next tier up is mentoring mentors. If you want to grow past a small organization, if you want to grow past a small tribe, you can only effectively mentor probably somewhere between 7 and 20 people. My number's 12. My dream for the last 20 years was to have a hot tub millionaire mastermind with 12 people that I was influencing, that were influencing me, that we were in mastermind with. And that's always been my dream, because I learned a long time ago that you can really only effectively lead about 12 people. If you want to grow your organization bigger, you're going to need to be effective at mentoring mentors or leading leaders to lead. And that's an important part of any organization or family, or, I mean, think about it. Is it any different in a family than it is in a company? If the leader doesn't, or leaders, mom and dad or grandma and grandpa, if they don't effectively establish harmonic culture and lead their family well by leading themselves well first, what is the outcome of the family typically? Now, of course, there are exceptions, and people might break away, but let me see, back on the slide. Josh, back on the slide, please, for a second. Oh, okay. Josh, which slide, brother? Which one did you want me to go back on? Okay, what I'll do, brother, is I'll send you this. I'll send you the slide deck after the meeting here, but I'll get that back to you. But just a quick recap: the first 4 DNA, aware of other self, clarity of dreams, definiteness of purpose and wellness, and then the 5 or the 4 interactions: authentic leadership, attract tribe, create harmonic culture, align effort and energy. Okay, I hope that helps. Checking in. Yep, perfect. First 4. Okay, you got it, brother, and I'll send that to you. All right, so let's take a look at wellness. The quality or state of being healthy in body and mind. Especially, I love this part, as the result of deliberate effort. True aligned effort and energy it has 2 components. It has mastermind, which is the mental action, and it has collaboration, which is the physical action. And everything to me is the mastermind. Everything is aligned effort and energy. And so I love this part of the state of being healthy in body and mind, that it is especially as the result of deliberate effort. So why is wellness part of the interactions of the WEVO DNA, the interactions? Sorry, I had to move a screen video here. Why is it part of the interactions of the WEVO DNA? Because of this belief that everything rises and falls on leadership. Authentic leadership is the fifth DNA. Things rise when we are authentic and fall when we are not. Sound body and mind give us footing to be authentic. And wellness gives us power. Now, you may have something come up when I say that word. You may have something come up when I say the word power. And I did when I first discovered it, and I first discovered it was important to me. And what came up for me is all the programming, all of the old paradigm, the perceptions, the subconscious programming of the abuse of power being, oh, he's power hungry or she's power hungry or whatever the case may be. Can I just say something and be honest? You all should be power hungry. It is the only way anything on earth moves. Power is the key to movement. You must generate power. What does it mean? What does the law of attraction mean? That energy, which is what? Power, went out, right? What does the law of reciprocity mean? That energy or power came back. We have got to get over the subconscious programming of the negative association with the word power. And I have to bring it up to make us aware, and now we can move on. But wellness gives us power. Thank you, brother. Okay, so let's take a look at what we call WEVO integrity, which is power, which is strength. Wholeness and complete. This is, oh boy, this is one that we could spend months and months and months on, guys. And I'm going to invite you to explore this in depth. We're not going to be able to cover it in depth today, but I want to invite you to consider exploring this in depth. wholeness and complete thoughts, emotions, feelings, words, and actions are congruent through active effort. Now, if you understand a little bit about thoughts, if you understand a little bit about emotions, and a little bit about feelings and words and actions and congruency, you probably can guess that this is not a light work to master. I mean, it's not an easy work to master, I should say, but it is worth mastering. As a basic, this is worth mastering. I spent a good amount of time this morning out by the pool, really just meditating on these blocks: thoughts, emotions, feelings, words, and actions, being congruent through active effort. Now, what would active effort be? I want to submit that active effort would come from a conscious plan, or by default, a subconscious program. Active effort would imply that our wellness, our wholeness and completeness, our ease comes from active effort. This is what makes us powerful. How do you feel? How productive are you when you're at dis-ease? When you're at dis-ease, oftentimes many people are paralyzed and they're having trouble to move because they're at dis-ease. So wellness as a WEVO DNA is such an important block because it allows us ease. And if you think of a motor running, why do they put oil in the engine? They want the engine to run smooth with ease because it will generate power without breakdown. It generates power without breakdown. If you take the oil out, the friction creates breakdown and you lose power. This is the way our life works. So what are emotions? Now, there are people much more qualified than me to speak on this. I'm not, this is not my field. I've done a little bit of study on it to create the WEVO DNA and to see what I felt the foundation of this model would be of life and business success. And this is what I found. And so emotions are physical and instinctive. They have been programmed into our genes over many years, hardwired. While they are complex and involve a variety of physical and cognitive responses, many of which are not well understood, their general purpose is to produce a specific response to a stimulus. So what would that look like? What do you think? Give me an example of what that would look like, an emotional response to something. Go ahead and jump in on the chat or verbal. But what would an emotional response be to something? Sadness of loss. Hell no. I love it. Upset, road rage. Very cool. Very cool. So let's take a look at it like this. If I'm out walking in the desert and I see a lion, I feel fear, or I have the emotion of fear. And then I have the feeling of terror. It's not an easy thing. They often get blurred. But what happens is the emotions are in the body, in the genes, and the feelings are in the mind. They're the response to the emotion. And so when we talk about aligning these, we talk about doing the deep work to align our thoughts, emotions, and feelings, and then words and actions, so that we can pre-program how we react in certain situations to generate more fluidity and more power in that reaction. So here's a chart on feelings. How would we define feelings? Feelings, on the other hand, play out in our heads. They are mental associations and reactions to an emotion that are personal and acquired through experience. There are over 3,000 feelings listed in the English language. Most people can easily recognize at least 500. Scared, mad, sad, peaceful, powerful, joyful, critical, confused, rejected, helpless, submissive, content, thoughtful, intimate, loving, trusting, nurturing, right? So these slides alone would be well worth some time and study, just to understand feelings and emotions a little bit better. And like I said, I'm not an expert in this. I just know about congruence. I know that when you create congruence in your life, you have power. So emotions play out in the body and feelings play out in the mind. So this week's intention is to be mindful of a harmonic balance in how we perceive and process our own thoughts, emotions, feelings, words, and actions as we go throughout the week. So it's a mindfulness practice. It's an awareness practice of these categories: thoughts, emotions, feelings, words, and actions. What does this have to do with business? What does this have to do with life growth? It's truly a foundation for authenticity. It's truly a foundation. I heard someone say the other day, authenticity has been used too many times. Can I just say that every word ever imagined has been used too many times? We've got to stop these weird associations or attachments to words. Authentic is authentic. It's a real thing. It's not going away anytime soon. We've got to get over that. We've got to get real with that and understand that to be authentic is it's a genuine thing. To be authentic. It's difficult to be authentic without a sound mind and body. It's hard to tell people about success or to lead people in success if we're not sound in our own mind and body. Me included, everyone, all of us, we have a responsibility and accountability to authentic leadership. And a big, big piece of this, and why the interactions come before the interactions. Next week, we're going to be covering authentic leadership. Now, if we skipped the first four, if we skipped aware of other self, if we skipped clarity of dreams, if we skipped definiteness of purpose, if we skip wellness, the recipe is incomplete. These things, I believe, are immutable. They're non-negotiables. They're fixed. They're fixed in their principle. They're fluid for you. You get to alter and change and evolve in those principles. But we must put effort and energy into these principles, or we live subconsciously. So subconsciously, you will just be directed to whatever program has been serving in the background from now back in your past. Now, if you become conscious, now if you're getting the results you want, you definitely want to take a look at that and say, okay, I'm getting the results that I want, so I'm going to continue to operate the way I've operated. But here's where the real question comes in. And this is where a lot of people mistake or misunderstand or misconstrue teachability. I had to be teachable in putting all these things together. I have to remain teachable to put them into action. If all you do is receive the information and give me a high five, amen, brother, thank you so much, that was great information, but it doesn't move to transformation through action, then you're not teachable. If the information doesn't move to transformation through action, then you're not teachable. If you're not teachable, there's no judgment in that. But here's the outcome. You're going to continue to get what you are able to get with the knowledge and the knowing that you have. But if new information could help you move forward in life and business, and it collides with programs that are running in the background, you have one decision to make and one only. Are you, will you, are you able to, are you willing to be teachable in that moment? if you're willing to be teachable in that moment, then you can take this information and use it as a building block, as a foundational platform to step into that next place of growing tribe. By getting the interactions down and then moving on to authentic leadership, attracting tribe, creating harmonic culture, and aligning effort and energy. They don't work without each other. You can attempt to attract tribe, but if you don't have the interaction, the inner game going on, as Heather would say, and it's not accurate and it's not congruent, we're going to blow up our tribe. Am I congruent all the time? Absolutely not. Do things come out of my mouth? Do words come out of my mouth that conflict with my thoughts, feelings, and emotions? Yep, they do. Here's another place people are not congruent. They're positive. Just be positive. Oh, don't say that. Don't say that negative. Don't say that negative. But inside, they're ripped apart in a lie. They're ripped apart in a lie because their thoughts, feelings, and emotions are going haywire. And they think the words are the key to strengthening and organizing that. You must take control of your own mind and body by aligning thoughts, feelings, emotions, words, and actions. Being positive without doing the real deep work. I'm going to kind of shout this out. Being positive without doing the real deep work doesn't do you a damn bit of good, because you're just going to be a more positive failure if you don't do the deep work. Do the deep work. No shortcuts. We all need to align in these areas: thoughts, feelings, emotions, words, and actions. It doesn't matter if the words are positive. The vibration is still low because your thoughts and feelings and emotions are controlling that. And now the words have no vibration to them. And so neither do your actions. Now, consciously, you can activate and be a catalyst through words and actions. Well, I don't feel motivated to go do that thing. Okay, then just say it out loud and go do it and watch the motivation come. Then align the thoughts, feelings, words, and the thoughts, feelings, emotions, and words and actions then. This is deep work, guys. There is no shortcut. And what I've seen and witnessed throughout life is that a lot of people go, yeah, Brett, I know, I get it. I know, I understand. Yeah, you don't understand, Brett. I've been to 4,000 seminars. I've spoke to Jesus himself. I've sat with the Buddha. I've done all this stuff. Then can someone please tell me, if everybody knows the answer, why so many people, when at the end of their life, have so much regret that they didn't do the things they really intended to do? If money is important, and I know it is because we spend the best hours of our days creating it, most of us, then why is it that only a small percentage of people can actually fund their own retirement, which they profess to be important to them? And then when I say small percentage of people, it's less than 4%. 63% will be dependent on government or charity. So why then, if we already have these answers, be positive, be this, do that, then why statistically do people struggle to achieve what they want to achieve? And I'm going to tell you why. A lack of teachability and willingness to change, not just in the information, but to do the deep work. And the reason we resist doing the deep work is the work that has already been done has become so comfortable in what is called a hypnotic rhythm. It is near impossible to change without conscious plan and effort. But you can change it. That's the good thing. You can change it. You can have what you want through a conscious plan. So the action step for this week, I shared the intention. Let's go back to the intention. The intention is be mindful of a harmonic balance in how we perceive and process our own thoughts, emotions, feelings, words, and actions. And then the action step, study the scientific explanations of emotions and feelings and correlate them to how you might process words and actions. So what I would do is I would chart out thoughts, emotions, feelings, words, and actions, and just go through a simple exercise of how you are going to become conscious, how you're going to have a conscious plan of aligning them to serve you, to serve the people around you, and to make the world a better place. That's what this is all about. If people ask, what's the intention of WEVO? What is it that you want to achieve? It's very simple for me. Help other people get what they want. I get what I want, and we make the world better together in the process. I think that's a really good formula for life and business success. So next week, we're going to talk about authentic leadership. We have a workshop coming up. You guys are welcome to attend. Don't feel any pressure if it doesn't resonate, but what I will tell you is that on September 6th in Cottonwood, Arizona, we have the new sales paradigm. And then on September 20th in Salt Lake City, I'll be teaching the new sales paradigm. And September 30th in Phoenix, teaching it. You can attend live, online, or get the recording. It is typically a 4-hour workshop from 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. 9 to 10, 11, 12, 1. Yeah, 4 hours. It's a 4-hour intensive. And what we're going to do is we're going to cover some information that you, once you get these foundational things at least activated, this is the foundation of how to go out now and attract tribe and create what we call high-vibing, thriving tribes. Now, in this, you help yourself, you help other people get what they want, you get what you want, you make the world better. Here's the bottom line of what it's going to do: better relationships, more sales, more clients, if that's what you want, more profitability, more referrals, less expenses. When you create tribe properly, everything will grow, including your friendships. If you're looking for a life partner, your chances are better based on supply and demand if your tribe is bigger, right? So this workshop, this intensive, is a big one. And the information I'm going to be sharing, I think David Keith can attest to, is not common information. It's very, very helpful, very real, and very tested and proven. You can enroll and attend at brettlabit.com. And what I will tell you is that for some reason in the forwarding, when you type in brettlabit.com, it's adding letters to the back. So if it says the page is not ready, delete those letters and hit enter, and it'll take you to the landing page. I hesitate to share these things, guys, on my webinars. This is a free webinar. It's not meant to be a sales pitch, but at the same time, I feel like people need this information, and I know that it's benefited a lot of people to have it, and I want you to have it as well if it calls to you. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up and unmute. And if anyone has any questions, comments, observations, appreciate you all. Go ahead and unmute your lines. I'm going to try and unmute you. There's Westside Deli. Give a shout out and hello to Westside Deli in Sedona. They're actually there in a room enjoying the webinar and all of us in a group.
Yeah, there's 8 of us in this room.
Yeah. Love it. David Keith is saying, "What's up, Yvonne?" And Veronica and Hank and Sharon and everybody over there. We got Lana on from California. Where are you from exactly? Riverside. She's in Riverside. We got Tim on. We got Bruce on. Man, it's just great to be with all you guys. David from Canada. It's exciting to be on with all of you. Any questions or thoughts or comments before we sign off? Steve and Marjorie here in Phoenix.
What was the homework again?
I don't know, brother. I make it up as I go. The homework is to dive in like I did. I wanted to understand emotions and feelings a little bit better. So what I would ask you guys to consider doing for homework is study the scientific explanations of emotions and feelings and correlate them to how you might process words and actions. Are your emotions and feelings running based on programs that are dictating your words and actions, or can you now take control? And the science does suggest that you can, in fact, influence the emotions and the emotional responses. So this is a deep work, but you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, we're unmuted.
Brett, can you give us an example of that in your own life or something else that you've observed?
Yeah, so let's talk about influencing emotions a little bit. So let's say financial stress or worry. Oftentimes when you're building big projects or any project, or maybe you're even working at a job and the paycheck just isn't enough. And you perceive the stimulus, right? The stimulus is there's not enough money to get through the week. The emotion is the fear of and the worry of that perception of the stimulus. You manipulate the emotional reaction through a conscious choice of thought by going back to it and saying, you know what? I have been here before. I have always survived, and not only survived, but I have thrived. And you consciously choose to change the emotion to, I am capable. This is not a big deal. This is not losing a foot. It's something that I can overcome and achieve greatness despite of. And so you go back and shift the emotion. The initial reaction comes from genes. It comes from in our body, right? And Veronica, you know this probably as good or better than any of us on the call. The body is going to react to the stimulus. Consciousness is going to allow us to change that reaction to something more favorable, to align feelings, words, and actions on how we move forward from that. Does that help?
Yes. Yes, that does.
Everybody saying yes here.
One more slide, Jason says. Are you saying you want this one, be mindful of a harmonic balance? Is that what you wanted, Jason? Let's see here.
You say?
Yes, cool. Cool.
If I might just take one more stab at that recap, Brett, and see if I've got it. So what I'm hearing is you're suggesting at minimum that we chart out our thoughts and emotions in relation to our actions, at minimum to increase consciousness. And the second layer invitation is to either see insights of what's driving us, one, or two, align our thoughts, emotions, and actions better to our definite purpose. Is that a fair take?
Well said, Heather.
All right, so I'll just give it back to everybody again, which is at minimum, Brett's invitation is to just take a page and chart out thoughts, emotions, feelings, actions, 4 columns, and write down your top, say, 3 to 5 most common patterns. That's invitation number 1 for everybody. And oh, by the way, 2.0 would be either insights about yourself from that and or commitments of more alignment of your thoughts and emotions to your definite purpose. So hopefully that recap helps. Brilliant invitation from Brett as always, and rock it on. I'm excited for all of us to be more well in 7 days than we were when we met today.
I love it. I love it, guys. Keep in mind the purpose of this, okay? If you get bogged down in the work and not the purpose, this is where we get off. People get so process-oriented. We get off track, I should say. People are so process-oriented that we create this homework, this play work, and we say, okay, let's figure out let's be mindful of the harmonic balance, and let's do the work on the scientific research on thoughts and emotions and feelings, okay? Keep in mind while you're doing this work that part of the teachability is there is a purpose in mind. What is the purpose of wellness? Power. What is health? It's a powerful mind and body. And the lack of it, it's ease. It's ease in the mind and body, which is power. Ease is power. Less friction, although friction can create power, and it does because that's where the growth comes from. But just keep in mind, the intention and the purpose of this is to generate power in your life, to move things forward, whatever that means to you. Love you guys. It's so great to have you all together. Continue to invite people week after week. Next week, legitimately, like seriously, no lie, legitimately, next week is my favorite topic. Authentic. It's tough when you have 8 favorites. I mean, they're all my favorite, but next week, authentic leadership. Oh my gosh, guys, we are going to talk about the power that you have as an authentic leader, and we're going to talk about the accountability and responsibility of that leadership when combined with humility, what it will do for you. You will literally write your ticket of what you want in your life, as we are all doing. So guys, I look forward to being with you next week. Let's see, I don't think any big announcements, but BrettLabit.com, drop the letters off the back if it adds it, and
the new sales paradigm. Yeah,
the new sales paradigm. Can you flash the 4 inners of WEVO DNA? You bet. Going back, right there. Those are the inner actions.
They're in the chat box too.
There you go. Thank you, Heather. Clarity of dreams, definiteness of purpose, and wrapping up this week with wellness. And then the 4 interactions: authentic leadership, attract tribe, create harmonic culture, and align effort and energy.
Originally, when you posed number 1, it was self-awareness. I presume when you're writing aware of other self, you're not referring to as being schizophrenic.
No, it's still, if you want to, it's totally fine. I mean, you can. Sometimes I think I am, but I do have this other self that I am in communion with. It's all part of self, but this is such a broad topic. I mean, literally, I think a lot of this is left to be subjective for you to explore. I don't want to, you know what the most powerful thing, 2 things in the world, through the greatest study of all time on personal achievement, through Napoleon Hill, the 2 things that he credits to success: definite purpose and independent thinking. I don't want to pigeonhole all of you into dependent thinking. What I would love is for you to examine and be aware of these principles and form your own conclusion of accurate thought. Be an independent thinker with definite purpose and create the life that you desire. So with that being said, it's beautiful to be with all of you. I look forward to next week. And if there's anything that I can do to help in the meantime, Brett, B-R-E-T-T, at wevoglobal.com. Westside Deli, love you guys. Wish we were in Sedona having sandwiches with you and enjoying the crowd.
Rock on, WEVO Tribe.
It's good to see you, everyone. Enjoy, guys.
Champions, cheers.
All righty. I got a good post to that.